Alright, what's up, players? Alright, so I'm remaking this video for the 24 of you that watched the first version. It was an absolute train wreck. The video was showing like one new screen every like 40 seconds. It's never happened to me in a video. It wasn't recording smoothly. So now I got the screenshots up. I got no programs running. I don't have Evony running, although I do need to open up all my phones so my rallies are joining. Okay, doing that right now. Okay, so what this video is about is I had a second interview with Genghis. It's an hour and a half long, and this is the important thing uh, in that video. I don't know when he'll post it. He's splitting it up into two parts. But this is going to interest everyone. Okay, so there's two things you need to know. In all of your attacking troops, I don't know how many levels, uh, T11 to T12, T13 to T14, or T12 to T13, T13 to T14, those all increase by power, this white number, by 50%. To, uh, T12s have 50% more power than T11s. T13s have 50% more power than T12s. T14s have 50% more power than T13s. Okay, so I've never heard anyone discuss this in any video ever. This is that video got into 18 minutes in, me talking, you see like one new frame per 40 seconds, and then the dang video didn't even record the whole thing. So hopefully this does. So what we're going to show you here, you're going to be interested in these numbers. Most people hate math. This is very easy math. So the white number here is not changed by anything. You'd be on an account, on a level 1 account, a level 45 account. It doesn't matter. This white number, which is indicative of that troop's base attack, defense, and hit points, which is what all of your buffs and percentages are going to be multiplied by, is indicative of that. So the whole point of this video is that your battle reports and the power exchanges in those battle reports that everybody looks at is not a true indication of what really matters. And what really matters is how many points and how many scores in SVS, although this is Battlefield's killing scores up here, SVS is a little bit different. What really matters is how many scores are you getting for your team? How many scores can your troops get for your team in attacks or defenses? And the power exchanges in the battle reports are just that. They're power exchanges. They are not points exchanges. And I'm going to show you that to you right now. Anyone, any good with math, they're immediately going to get it. All they have to do is look at two things: the increase in this power level from one tier to the next tier, because obviously that's an exponential increase, right? Versus the increase in scores from killing certain troop tiers from one tier to the next tier. From T11 here to T12, that's not a 50% increase in scores. T12 to T13, that's not a 50% increase in scores, etc. So we're going to compare T11s, T14s, Cavs, it doesn't matter, it could be any troop type. And I'm going to show you why, and this kind of offsets the strength of the flat refines on very low tier troops. High tier troops that you can protect and are survivable because you have decent buffs, they offset that by a significant amount. In fact, the higher tier troops they are, the less points they are worth to the enemy. I'm gonna prove that for you right now. So the example we're going to use here is we have a march. We have an attacker and a defender. one of them has 2 billion power worth of T11 troops. And the other one has 2 billion power worth of T14 troops. So not 2 billion T11 troops and T14 troops, but 2 billion power worth of each. So 2 billion power that you see in the power exchange of the battle report. So in this scenario, we're going to hypothetically say that, the T11s, the T11 guy, he's got really high buffs, and you have a complete perfect power exchange. All the troops die. All the T11s die. All the T14s die. In the battle report, it shows 2 billion power loss here, 2 billion power loss here. Well, who got the most points? Who got the most SVS scores or battlefield scores for your team? Well, the answer is the T14 troop team got the most points. Okay, so how do we calculate that? Well, it's very simple math, so let's do it. We got 2 billion. 2 billion power of troops of T11. Okay, so if we divide that by power per troop, it'll give us how many troops we have. So divided by, I've never seen anyone discuss this anywhere. Okay, so we got 55,000. I'll just put 55.944 million because it's how many 1 million troops for scores, okay? Oh, I lost the 5. 55.944 million troops. That's how many T11s we have for 2 billion power worth of them. T14s. How many of those do we have for 2 billion power? We got 16,393,000. So down here in the notepad in the bottom left, if you guys didn't catch that, it's a little bit smaller font. 16.393. Okay. So how many points? Now all we got to do is multiply this by the scores. All their troops died. This is how many total troops of each. They each have 2 billion power worth. That's what you're seeing in the battle report. That's what you're relying on to determine if you won the power exchange. But just because you won the power exchange does not mean that you're not net negative for points. Okay, so all we got to do here is 15.944 for the T11s times 84.4. So I'll write that here before and it's actually a dramatic difference. It's a significant difference because that's an exponential increase, right? The roughly 15% increase tier to tier, but this troop power is a 50% increase tier to tier, exponentially. So it's significant. So we're going to multiply this one by 133.3. And the results are really one's twice as many points as the other. So let's do that real quick. We'll do 16 point, or I got to clear that out, 16 times 133.3 equals. All right, so this side, the T14 troop side, they gave up 2,185 points. This side, though, gave up more than twice as much. $4,721. Holy smokes! I was surprised the first time I did this calculation. First time I did this calculation was in the last video. That was a complete disaster. But like I just, so how I noticed this is because there are several times in SVS where I would do my first attack at the very beginning. Okay, I get an attack in. Did I get all my boxes? I look at the power. I won the power exchange. Or I look at the power. I won the power exchange, but I'm net negative on points. Only one attack happened. And that happened a few times. I didn't really think much of it. I just wanted all my box rewards for the SVS, right? But after a while, I was like, I got to look into this and really figure this out. So as soon as I had seen the exponential increase, score to score from the tiers versus the exponential increase tier to tier of the power of your troops, that's all I needed to know. Didn't even do the calculation. First time bringing this up on any video was during the interview with Genghis. I thought he was going to immediately post the videos, but this is the important, interesting part of that interview, and I hope this recording is recording smoothly. But is that not surprising? So totally. If you didn't know, if you never looked into this, or this thought never crossed your mind, totally even power. Look how slow my computer's typing in Notepad. God, I got a potato. Totally even power exchange in the battle report. But one side got 4,000 points, other side got 2,000 points because of the tiers of troops. So, for all of you guys, I mean, there's enough people making content for everyone free to play at low coiners. For people that, have the ability to build or have built a high number of troops, and maybe you can build many more. Me personally, I've gone from K41. Well, I'll just put it this way. From last All-Stars, I was K41. Just barely by this next All-Stars, I'll be K44, but I wouldn't have built any more troops. It's all gone into buildings, right? Most of my attacking troops, although I have 13s, 14s, and 15s unlocked, the majority are like 50% of the march for all my troops is T11s or T12s. Once I get to 44 and I get my MA8 upgraded and rally spot, yada yada done, and I can build more troops, I'm going to build strictly T13s. I'll build all T13s, and I'm going to have the majority of my march be T13s. Or maybe as many T13s as T11s or as T12s depending on the troop type. And then if I ever get to K44, because I've had all these march sizes increase from rally spot and march size increases in the military academy, hadn't built any more troops. I gotta build a shit ton more troops eventually when I'm K44. So because my goal is I want to have at least 10 attacks I can make with each troop type, considering all those troops die in each attack before I completely run out of troops of any troop type. So I had that at K41. Now I can only make, like, if I'm utilizing my full march size of my marches, now I can only make like 6 attacks or something. So if I make a bad attack or a hastily made attack without scouting, the guy got a bunch of reinforcements, well, that's one of my 6 marches of whatever that troop type is. I got to be a lot more careful now with, I only got like 6 attacks. So that's what I'm going to do when I'm K44. I'm going to, obviously it would be way easier building lower tier troops in order to, use less resources to get the amount of troops I need so I can fill up my march 10 times for each troop type. But I'm going to go with T13s. And if I ever get to K45s, the increased troop march size I have from 44 to 45, then I'm going to build T15s. So knowing this information and thinking about what I want to do, that's what I'm doing personally. If you've never considered this or never even realized this, like I knew this was the truth when I just saw the exponential increase tier to tier in the scores versus the exponential increase tier to tier in the power level. The power exchange is going to be much higher for a lot lower score point for the T14s being killed versus any lower tier. But I didn't know it was going to be that dramatic. Just 3 tiers apart. I hadn't actually done the calculation. So yeah, guys, it was a good one, right? All right, guys, GG. And again, I apologize to those 24 people that watched the first version because it was unwatchable. You could hear everything I was saying, and then the video cut off before I got to the showing the calculation. What a catastrophe.